I'm about to show you how we consistently rank clients on Google and increase their monthly recurring revenue. And by the end of this course, you'll understand the exact actions you need to take.
There's a very high chance you're missing out on at least one of these 7 critical e-commerce product optimization techniques. Product optimization technique 1, make the titles unique. I constantly see product pages with the exact same template, brand name plus product model. For example, let's say you're selling a motorbike helmet and you've titled it Built Gringo S06 helmet. And if you type that into Google, well, guess what? You'll probably be competing with the manufacturer's website. And chances are your e-commerce website won't outrank the manufacturer for their own product. So instead, look to add keywords around your title. Check out the products and features. For example, the helmet is matte black and full face. Type that into Google to see what the Google autocomplete function shows you. In this example, I can see the Google autocomplete function suggests matte black, men's and full face. From this research, my title would be Full Face Men's Bitwell Gringo S06 Helmet - Matte Black. And keep in mind, this title is below 60 characters and below 580 pixels, which prevents your title from getting cut off in the search results. Product optimization technique 2, combine duplicate products. One of the most common problems with e-commerce sites is having duplicate product. For example, let's say you sell forklift chargers and you've got a product page for 1-watt forklift charger. And then you've got another product page for 2-watt forklift battery charger. And then you've got another page for 3-watt product battery charger, etc. Why not combine these products into one product page and you can use the filter to get between the wattage you want. However, it may make sense to keep these products as separate pages. After all, every industry is different. And if you do decide to keep them as separate pages, make sure the content is different for each page. This will help prevent duplicate content issues like keyword cannibalization. Product optimization technique 3, test your product pages on your actual phone. When testing the mobile friendliness of a page, people often go to tools like Google's Inspect tool or Google PageSpeed's Insights. Now, I found this to be very deceiving because the tool doesn't always output what the mobile version will look like. So instead, pull out your physical phone and take a look at your product pages and go a step further and ask other people if you can use their phone to see what your product pages will look like on different phones. Ask yourself, does the product page load within 3 seconds? Are the visuals the same as the desktop version? Are the links the same as the desktop version? Are those links easy to get access? These are all questions you're going to want to ask. Product optimization technique number 4, name your image files. You want to name your image files, but you don't want to keyword stuff them. You want to genuinely describe the image, describe what you're seeing. For example, you would describe this image as black Jack & Jones men's jeans skinny fit with silver buttons. You can take it a step further by right-clicking on the image and selecting tags and putting a description within there. And you will put the same description within the alt text. This is another way to further optimize your images. The Google search results keep getting more popular with more multimedia, so make sure you're optimizing your multimedia so you're not missing out on any clicks. Product optimization technique 5, stop spending time creating custom meta descriptions. I remember working at a Magento marketing agency and I saw the marketing manager going through the products and creating custom meta descriptions. I told her that there's no point you going through creating all these custom meta descriptions, spending all this client time, when 99.999% of the time, Google will use their own custom meta description. So what's the point? I'd recommend only creating a custom meta description for your homepage and maybe a few of your most profitable pages. Otherwise, there's really no need for it. 99.999% of the time, Google will use their own meta description instead of your custom one. Product optimization technique 6, stop using the manufacturer's description. This one personally bugs me a lot because it's a very common mistake, yet it's easily fixable. So many of your competitors are using the manufacturer's product descriptions, so you want to avoid doing that. Otherwise, you're just going to be in a cesspit of copy and paste content like a bunch of other sites. To write effective product copy, just go over the features and benefits, as well as the common objections your user may have. A feature is a technical specification, and a benefit is what the user will get out of that feature. For example, let's say you're selling a 4K TV. A feature of that TV would be it has a 4K resolution. The benefit would be you get crystal clear images with incredible detail for a more immersive experience. You'll enjoy watching movies and playing games a lot more with an immersive experience. Then you're going to ask yourself, what objections, concerns, and questions will my customer have? Sticking with the 4K TV example, here's what the customer's concerns and objections could be. They don't know if it's a good size fit for their room. They're concerned about how long the warranty is. Will the device be compatible with the TV? Is the TV good for gaming? You want to list the features and benefits as well as the objections your customers may have and go through them in an ordered list of importance. By doing this simple exercise, you'll get a far better description than any manufacturer can provide you with. Product optimization technique 7, look at every URL on your website, and you may need some help with this. So the size of this task depends on how big your website is. The larger it is, obviously the more time it's going to take. What you're going to do is go into your Google Search Console, click on Pages, which is under indexing, and you're going to start with crawled, currently not indexed, and then after that, move on to discovered, currently not indexed. Now I can't stress the importance of this enough. For example, when I was doing SEO for one of the UK's largest comparison websites, what I found was a bunch of / Viagra URLs. And of course, this was a huge security concern for them. How on earth did that get there? And recently, working on an e-commerce site, I found a bunch of URLs in Korean. What kind of signals is that giving to Google? Now, you don't have to open up all of these pages. You're simply going to scan the URLs and see if you find anything odd. It's one of the best SEO practices you can carry out. And if you need help growing your e-commerce business, I'd highly recommend booking a call with myself. I'll pin a link in the comments below. Category pages are the most profitable pages on your entire website. And I found this to be the case after working on both small e-commerce businesses and large e-commerce businesses. There are so many things you can optimize on your category page, but I'll be going over only the most important optimizations you can make that will have the biggest impact on your rankings as well as your bottom line. First of all, you need to do keyword research. You can't do any of the other optimizations without having this one down. Without keyword research, you're basically shooting in the dark. Keyword research is simply finding search terms that are related to your business. And one very simple yet highly effective way to do keyword research that's free is using the Google autocomplete function. For example, let's say your store sells bikes. I wouldn't recommend targeting bikes because it's too broad and competitive. Instead, you want to go for something more specific. How about electric bikes? But maybe we can go even more specific than that. There are different types of electric bikes, like cargo electric bikes. So what you do is type in cargo electric bikes into Google, and if Google autocomplete shows it, then guess what? It means it's got search volume behind it. And if you click on the top results and see that the category pages, then it means it meets the right user intent requirements for a category page. You then want to take it a step further and do keyword research for the individual product pages that your category page sells. This way, your category page will rank for long tail variations of your main keyword. For example, let's say the bike you're selling is the Turn GSD S00 LX. What you're going to do is list the features of the product. For example, let's say this electric cargo bike is blue in color. It's unisex, it has a 500 watt battery, etc. You're then going to Google these variations to see what the autocomplete shows. For example, we can see Google show blue electric bike, as well as 500 watt electric bike. We could then assign the title to that product, 500 watt blue electric cargo bike. Boom. By doing this, we're able to target lots of long tail variations for our category page. Next, you're going to optimize the URL. Google uses your URL to see what your page is all about. And what you're going to do is simply include your main keyword in there. And sticking with our bike example, our URL would be something along the lines of electric cargo bikes. However, you shouldn't just change the URL of a published page, because this can break things like cause broken internal URLs, as well as lead to decreased rankings. So simply use this tip to optimize category pages that you haven't already published. Next, you're going to optimize the meta title and the H1 tag. After optimizing countless pages, the most important on-page SEO optimization tweak you can make, besides hitting the user intent, is having your keyword inside the meta title and having your keyword inside the H1 tag. Very simple, very straightforward, but you'd be surprised at how many people miss this. And by doing this, you'll gain a quick but long-term rankings boost. I'd recommend using the SEO extension to see what your meta titles and H1 tags look like. If your meta title is over 580 pixels or 60 characters long, it will cut off in the search results, having a negative impact on your search clicks. And make sure your H1 tag and meta title are the same to prevent Google from rewriting your meta titles. Next, you're going to create a brief description. Below your H1 tag, you're going to include a little description, something below 100 words. After all, the users on your category page to have a look at your products and not to read a blog post. The little description is there to tell the user what the page is about and tell them they've arrived on the right page, as well as an opportunity to fit in some keywords. You're simply going to include your target keyword as well as LSI keywords, which are keywords related to your main keyword, in your brief description. You can find these LSI keywords by using the Easy SEO Extensions Keyword Sniper tool. And the best thing about this tool is all the keyword recommendations it gives you all come from Google themselves. You're simply going to insert any of the relevant keywords into your brief description. Next, you're going to optimize the products on your page. First of all, you're going to do keyword research for each of the products on your category page, as mentioned earlier on in this video. You're then going to see what the top results are doing when it comes to how many products they're displaying on their root page, as well as seeing how many variations or types of products they're including on the category page. Just Google your keyword and see what the top category pages are doing. You're simply going to see how many products they have and just include a few more of yours. And if you don't have enough products or enough types of products to display, well, you're just going to have to skip this step. Next, you're going to make sure users can filter by things like price, colors, type of product, etc. Now you're going to include a longer description. The longer description will sit below your products and pagination. The purpose of the longer description is to help the user understand your products better, as well as provide an opportunity to fit in some more keywords. I'd recommend adding a frequently asked section into the longer description. What common questions are your support team constantly getting? You can also use ChatGPT to find these questions. For example, you can type into ChatGPT, "My e-commerce site sells electric cargo bikes. What questions, objections, and concerns will potential customers have?" You can then use any of the relevant results you found in ChatGPT and include them on your page. Remember, you're trying to be as helpful as you possibly can when it comes to this. Now it's time for the internal linking part. What you're going to do is use a silo structure. So you're going to link from your subcategories all the way up to your parent category. And then your parent category will link to at least one of those subcategory pages. For example, let's say your parent category is non-alcoholic wines, and your child categories are non-alcoholic rosé wine, non-alcoholic white wine, and non-alcoholic red wine. Non-alcoholic rosé, white, and red wine will all link up to the non-alcoholic wines page. And then the non-alcoholic wines page will link to at least one of those child category pages. These internal links will increase the rankings of your category pages. Next up, you want to prevent keyword cannibalization problems. Keyword cannibalization is simply where multiple pages compete for the same keyword, and as a result, neither of those pages is in position 1. To make sure you're not cannibalizing, go into your Google Search Console account, type in your target keyword, and then see what pages are getting clicks for that keyword. If these pages aren't optimized for your target keyword, then the page you're currently optimizing won't have cannibalization issues. Now, you're going to optimize the technical aspects of your category page. First of all, you want to make sure you have the correct type of pagination. Pagination is the part of the page which allows you to go from page 1 to page 2, from page 2 to page 3, etc. Now, some category pages don't use these numbers correctly, if at all. Some category pages have a load more button, which is a big no-no. Your pagination, no matter which part of the sequence it's at, should have a link back to the root page and having a link all the way to the furthest page. This helps alleviate crawl depth problems. So for example, let's say you have 100 paginated pages and you're on page 25. Well, paginated page 25 should have a page all the way back to page 1 as well as a link all the way to page 100. So you got a link to page 1 as well as a link to the last page. Next, you're going to make sure all your category pages as well as the paginated pages have a self-referencing canonical tag. A canonical tag tells Google that the current page they're on is the primary version of that page. There's no other version out there, and therefore they should rank this current page. Now, some SEOs don't like having a self-referencing canonical tag on their paginated pages because they believe it causes keyword cannibalization problems as well as duplicate pages problems. However, Google has already mentioned it doesn't cause these problems. You want to give these paginated pages a chance to rank because there are many instances where the paginated page will outrank the root page. I would recommend using the Easy SEO extension to see if you've got a self-referencing canonical tag.
How do you actually optimize your homepage for the search engine, as well as balancing it for your visitors when it comes to user experience? So first of all, we're going to work on the top menu. So there are 5 key areas here. So first of all, you want to keep it minimal. So use a drop down menu to keep it clean. Don't overcrowd it. There's no need. You've got the footer menu as well to add more stuff, which we'll be going over later. Link to pages you really want to rank. So this is essentially going to be your categories. You can have your add to cart button there as well as your search function. So for example, I'll put some screenshots here. So this is a good example. So you've got their shop and they're linking to their category pages. This is their blog, their about page as well as a trade page. So this is a good example of keeping it to minimum. Now this is an example of not exactly being a minimal take on it, but it's not too bad because they've got a lot of categories and that type of thing. So if it does go a bit overboard, that is okay if it makes sense. So keep that in mind. I'll probably put that blog right here in the footer instead. And you've got executive office desks and then office desks. So I'd probably put executive office desks inside of office desks. So you want to keep your menu to the minimum. And of course, you want your search function there, as mentioned. So after the top menu, we need to look at above the fold. So the above the fold is what the user sees instantly on the page. So if we go below, so this is below the fold now. So the user should instantly be able to know what your website is about with a single glance. So this is a good example because if you look at it instantly, you can see the non-alcoholic wine bottles. It says the Ivy collection, which is related to wines. And you can see it's related to what they're selling essentially. The user can instantly tell. With this page, it is the same, not as good, but you can still see the office chairs right above the fold. It says modern office furniture. Even the logo says order office furniture, and you've got the menu as well. And you can just tell exactly what this is at a glance. Now, number 3 is link to your highest revenue pages. So these could be your category pages and your product pages. And then number 4, you want to link to pages you really want to rank. So again, these could be category pages, your products and your blog posts. And this website's homepage has done a good job. So they've linked to product pages. So ideally, these products would be products that are making you the most money, as well as products that aren't too far from the first position. And you've got to keep in mind, your homepage is the most powerful page on your entire website. So when you send a link somewhere, it's going to be a strong signal. As well as they've got the categories, so you can see the non-alcoholic red wine, non-alcoholic white wine, and they've kept it to a minimum. They haven't oversaturated it. And then as you can see, they've got 3 blog posts, and again, that's all you need, about 3. Absolute 5 is the max, but you want to keep it to a minimum. This has done the same thing, so you've got some products lined up here, and as well as the categories, so executive office desks, modern office desks. So that's the next thing you're going to want to do. We're blazing straight through this. So number 5, use social proof. So use testimonials. So let the user know that basically people are saying positive things about your product. I don't believe, so you've got kind of some social proof here because you've got a rating here, a star rating. Shows 5-star ratings, but ideally it'd be something like this, where there'd be a person here, their face, and then they're talking about the product, saying a few nice things about the business as well. So that's the next thing, social proof. Number 6 is blog roll. I was going to say bog roll. So blogs you really want to rank and only link to a few posts, because the more links you give, the more saturated it's going to get, the less powerful those links will be. So that's why you want to keep it to a minimum. So blogs you really want to rank. So let's just say this blog right here, can you drink non-alcoholic beer when pregnant? So let's say a lot of people are signing up to your email list when they read this particular blog post. So it would make sense for them to add it to the homepage. And I believe they're ranking number 1 for that term. So that's the next thing. So number 7, and I've got a bonus tip after this. The footer menu, so pages you want to rank, the boring pages, which are the privacy policy, the returns, links to your socials, option to sign up to your newsletter, as well as trust badges. So if we look here, you've got the quick links here. So these are the boring stuff like privacy policy, cookie policy, terms of service, refund policy. Then you've got the pages that they really want to rank. So they've done that under popular collections. So non-alcoholic red wine, non-alcoholic white wine, rosé wine, etc. They've got the links to the socials, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as a contact details here, the physical contact location. And they've got a little section for the newsletter if people want to sign up, as well as a trust badge right here. My face is in the way. So they've got their trust badges right here. And you can add whichever ones you want. So this is another example. So these are different trust badges you can add. And that just helps another layer of trust when people are visiting your site. So what's the bonus tip? The bonus tip is to optimize your H1 and meta title for the homepage, because again, as mentioned, your homepage is the most powerful page on your entire website. So it's worth optimizing it for a keyword. Now, it doesn't always make sense to optimize your homepage for a keyword, because say, for example, if you're a bigger company, I found that they don't tend to optimize the homepage. They just leave it to the brand name because they're a bigger company, right? They just rely on their brand name, which is fine. Chances are you may not be a bigger company. So what you want to do is have your keyword in there and looking for your keyword, something which encompasses your entire business. So you can see their category pages. They've got non-alcoholic wine, red wine, white wine. So the only thing that's going through my mind is the homepage could be something like alcohol-free drinks. And that would be the homepage that they would target. So you could see this guy here, Dry Drinker. And this is a site that looks similar to this one, selling non-alcoholic beverages. And their homepage is ranking, I believe, as number 3. So yeah, they could definitely optimize for something like this. And that's essentially it. Those are 7, well, technically 8 things you can do to optimize your homepage. Very simple, very straightforward, but highly effective. Because again, I've been doing this for a while now. I've done this for lots of different e-commerce sites, small and large. And I found that this is the 80-20 principle. This is the things that you want to add. And basically, you're done essentially. Sure, you can tweak up to a higher level. But when it comes to the big, bulky things, this is what's going to get you most of the results. Blogging for e-commerce websites. How do you do that in the most efficient and effective manner? And there are different strategies you can follow when it comes to blogging for your e-commerce website. But which ones are the right ones for you? There'll be 5 things, 5 strategies I'll be going over, and you're going to pick and decide which ones are the right ones for you. So let's take a look at the first one. Well, but before that, why you should blog. So first of all, is to receive high buyer traffic. So people who are ready to buy right now, is to build topical authority, is to generate traffic to capture emails, is to educate users on your products and services, as well as used as a reference, essentially build backlinks. So first of all, let's cover how to receive that hot buyer traffic who want to buy right now. So you want to target commercial keywords. So you want a keyword prompt. So those keyword prompts could look something like best X for Y. For example, best graphics card for video editors, best X that, so best games that don't need graphics card, best X which, best X is, and X is meaning your product type, right? So graphics cards, hoovers, electric boards, wherever you're selling, right? And you can use the Google autocomplete to do this. So let's go with the best graphics card. So best graphics card, let me zoom in here. So as you can see, I've already done this search, best graphics card 4. And then you can go through each level of the alphabet, and it'll give you different suggestions. And the reason why Google is giving you these suggestions and why they're so valuable is because you know that people have typed them in already. So you know they've got search volume, right? And you can scale this up by using a tool like Keyword King. This is my own keyword tool that I built. So let's just type that in. Let me just zoom in here. Best graphics card 4. Then we're going to take A to Z. You can choose your location. Then we're going to hit search. And then the first 10 will be the most popular keywords. So best graphics card for gaming, no surprise there. Best graphics card for 1440p. And then it's going to go through A to Z, right? Best graphics card for A. And then it says best graphics card for AMD Ryzen 7. Best graphics card for AutoCAD, etc. You can go through these keywords and decide which one suits your business. So next up, number 2. Let me just move this thing here as well as my face. So build topical authority. So what is topical authority? So let's say you've got a computer selling website, right? You sell different computer components and you're trying to build authority on graphics cards. You want to sell more graphics cards. Let's say you've got 50 pages talking about graphics cards on your website and your competitors, they have at least 200. Well, guess what? They're going to be seen as more authority because they have more pages that talk about graphics cards essentially. And of course, these pages should be high quality and not doorway pages, right? Not low quality pages. These pages should answer the user intent, have search volume behind them, and be genuinely helpful, right? So that's topical authority. So what's a topical cluster? So sticking with the computer components example. So you're selling graphics cards, you're selling processors, you're selling motherboards. So let's just say you want to make your website a topical authority on graphics cards. Well, you can create a cluster on graphics cards and talk all about that. So graphics card for gamers, and talk all about gaming and graphics cards for one cluster. And then you can have another cluster for processors. So that'll be related to processors for gamers. And another cluster could be processors for motherboards, etc. Right? And that's essentially a topical cluster. And the key to doing this is focus on one cluster at a time, unless you've got the resources to focus on multiple. If you don't, then focus on one at a time, because that's essentially, it's going to be the most strategic and the most efficient way to build topical authority. Focus on one thing at a time. Don't spread yourself too thin. So make sure each page has search volume behind it, okay? Because you want people clicking, you want people staying on the page, and you want Google knowing that your page is actually valuable. So number 3, how to generate traffic to capture emails. So this is essentially about getting visitors to your website and then convincing them to allow you to engage with them. So you want to get their emails and essentially send them emails. And the key to this is it needs to be value driven. So you can't think, oh, I've got 3,000 people on my email list. Let's just send random emails, and you're not thinking of them as actual people. And that's a mistake that I made in the past. You need to actually think of them as people. Think of them not as machines, as some people do. I'm just thinking in terms of a numbers game, you would genuinely want to be useful and helpful. And the way you can get emails, people to opt in, is to lead by a valuable item. So you can just say, I'll give you a free tool in return for your email, or an ebook or a trial or a discount. And one of the important things you want to do is make sure to let them know they'll get emails sent to them. All right. So you could do an introduction email saying, hey, this is who I am. This is this is what the business is and what it's all about. And you'll be sent emails, and I'll set the user's expectations on what's to come. And again, you only want to send emails that they'll actually care about. All right. So number 4, educate users on your products and services. So this is more for if you have unique products or technical products, you may need to create blog posts around them. So if you've got a particular camera you're selling, it may have lots of technical items to it, lots of functions. You may want to create some blogs on how to use it, how to troubleshoot, how to optimize it, as well as how to fix certain things. So this may apply to you. Next up, how to use your blog to be used as a reference, essentially to build backlinks. So a backlink is essentially, if you don't already know, you probably already know, but I'm covering it for that one person who doesn't know. So you've got a website here, your website, and then under the website here, this website links to your website. And in a nutshell, that's going to help increase your rankings, right? If it's a quality backlink, right? So what you want to do to give yourself the highest chance of building these backlinks passively, right, is to find topics where users will be interested in data and a search volume behind it. So for example, do people still play board games in 2020? This is an old blog post I did for someone a long time ago, and it started to get backlinks. I'm not sure if they've removed it now because it's such an old post. But essentially what I did was add some statistics here, as well as an infographic. And that's kind of the key here. You want to use data and statistics, and you want to visualize that data. You don't want the user to work for it. You want to serve everything, all of your content on a silver platter, essentially. You want to make it as easy to absorb as possible. So there are different places to get that data. So you can use Google Trends as I did here. So you can see the popularity in terms of statistics, see the search volume. You can use Kaggle datasets. So you can search this up. So let's just say gaming, and it'll give you different things. Online gaming anxiety data. That's an interesting one. If you've got a gaming site or a mental health type of website, you're selling different products related to that. Gaming laptops. So you can type in whatever you want. So let's just go for skincare. So different things related to skincare. So another one is Workout Wednesday. So this is a way for you to get inspiration on data visualization. So you'll see different pages here on people visualizing their data. As you can see here. So you can check this out. This is a great way because if you don't know how to present your data, you're not sure what graph you should use, or even if you use a graph, you can check this out. As well as open government websites. So here's the UK version. So crime and justice, business and economy, health, environment, education. You can see different statistics related to that. So you'd have to find one related to your business. And that's essentially it. Those are 5 different strategies you can use for blogging.
I'll be revealing the most effective, efficient and realistic way to build backlinks. I'll be covering both paid and free options. So first things first, you need to build the people talking about you types of links. These are social media profile links, these are social media post links, and these are forum types of links. You don't need to sign up to hundreds of social media sites, just start off with the main ones. X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. Place your link in the designated website holder, and then you're going to publish some of your pages. Now, if you're like me and you like the shortest possible route in doing something, you can use IFTTT to help automate your social media posts. Now for forums, there are 2 main ones. Number 1, Quora. Number 2, Reddit. After that, you're going to want to sign up to niche relevant forums. For example, if you've got a gaming site, you'd sign up to Steam. If your site is about web development, you can sign up to Stack Overflow. Now, if you're unsure of which niche forum is right for you, you can simply use this search operator. Your niche plus
forum, and you'll be able to see niche related forums like this one I got about car detailing. You're going to want to answer some questions and then leave a link to your site as a reference. However, some forums absolutely hate this, like Reddit. So for forums like that, you can simply publish your link on your own profile. And you don't want that to be a lone link, otherwise it's not going to get indexed and it's not going to get any juice to it. So instead, you're simply going to comment on different posts and get some internal links to your profile page where your current link sits. Now, these links aren't going to push your rankings forward, but it's a great way to build trust and it's a great foundational type of link building. Now let's move on to the I'm a real business types of links. What I'm talking about here are directory links. These are things like Yelp, Yellow Pages, and White Pages. All you're going to do is sign up to these directories, leave a description of your business, and then link to your own website. Now, this is a really tedious task. It's mind-numbing, so I like to outsource it to someone else. Now, let's move on to the EAT boosting links. Now, if you're one of those people who's never heard of EAT, it's one of Google's most important ranking factors. It stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. Backlinks, in my opinion, are the best way to build trust and overall EAT. Now, here's what you do to build EAT types of links. Use the minus site, your website, plus brand name search operator. And if you've already built a solid EAT profile, you should have lots of results. However, social media results don't count. You want the results to look like websites mentioning your brand name. This signals to Google that you are an entity, you're an authority, you're a brand, and most importantly, it shows Google you can be trusted. Now, the key to building these types of links is when you're publishing a post, you want to have your brand name in the meta title as well as the H1 tag. This way, your brand name is going to show up in the Google search results. And I'll show you how to do this in the next part. Now, let's move on to the heavy hitting type of link, the guest posts. Guest posts are the type of link that are going to actually push your rankings up and overall increase your domain authority. But before I get into that, for some context, it's important to understand how you used to get guest post links. Step 1, you would email a bunch of related sites and tell them you wanted to guest post for them. Step 2, after emailing a whole bunch of people, you'd have a few who would accept. Step 3, you would create an article for them and place your link on there and publish it to their site. This was an exchange of value, and the value you provided them was content, and the value they provided you was a backlink to your website. But it doesn't work like that anymore. Everyone and their mother knows the value of a backlink, thanks to marketers, i.e. SEOs, spamming the hell out of the internet and telling webmasters all about backlinks.
Marketers ruin everything.
They finally caught on to the worth of a backlink, and it's become much harder to acquire a backlink for free. And no one cares about the content you can write for them because AI could already produce a crap ton of genuine good quality content if they know how to do it right. So instead, you need to pay a fee to get a backlink, 99.99% of the time. However, before you click off, I will be going over a free backlink method that you can use and actually works, and I've used many times over. The first method is my favorite, and all you have to do is simply join Facebook groups. These will be SEO groups, guest posting groups, and niche related groups. Now stick with me here because you're probably going to feel completely out of place in these types of groups. However, I'm going to keep you safe and I'll tell you exactly what to do and what not to do. You want to publish a post to these Facebook groups, letting people know you want to guest post. And after you do that, you're going to get a whole load of messages coming to you. Messages, friend requests, and comments of people telling you to check your messenger. Now, you're going to want to make sure these sites are legit and won't harm your website and are cost effective, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But before that, here are some websites I've managed to get my hands on. So I spent 5 minutes on Facebook groups going through the messages that I had received after my post, and here are 3 sites that I found to stand out and reach this criteria that we went over. So if you take a look at this site, it's getting 12.4k in terms of organic traffic, and I find SEMrush is incorrect when it comes to estimating the traffic, of course, because it's not your exact analytics. So what you want to do is double this. So this is really getting approximately 24,000 visitors a month, and it has a domain authority of 7, which isn't bad. But we don't care about domain authority, it's nice, we only care about traffic. And in terms of price, it comes in at $20. So, not bad. Now let's move on to the next one. Move on to this site now. And this is getting 85,000 monthly visitors. Now, this has a domain authority of 56, so that's a pretty hefty one. Now, what about the price? Boom, only $40 for a link on this site. That's a bargain. Now, let's move on to the next one. Now, this has 34,000 organic visitors. And in terms of the domain, it's a domain authority 48. And in terms of price, it's $50, which is pretty damn reasonable, especially if you compare it to the services out there which are charging hundreds of dollars for the links that I've just mentioned. You're getting it at a fraction of the price if you're doing this type of outreach.
So how do you find these sites at these kinds of prices? Here's the exact script I wrote.
Looking to guest post on tech-related websites. Requirements: at least 1,000 plus traffic from English-speaking countries according to SEMrush. 10,000 plus is ideal. No PBNs, English only, tech-related sites only. Link must be do follow. Now check out all these comments we've got, and of course they're sending me messages, and this is where we can negotiate and vet the sites and get ourselves some really highly effective backlinks at a very reasonable price.
Now you're going to get comments from people to check your messenger, and this is where people are going to send you a link to their sites. Keep in mind, these people probably don't own the site, and instead they're the middleman. What you want to do is simply put those sites into SEMrush and make sure they're getting at least 1,000 organic visitors. Scroll down and make sure it's actually ranking for keywords and not gibberish. Then you want to make sure to check the post on the site to make sure it's not a link farm. Link farms are sites that exist only to create links. Check the posts, and if you find they're constantly linking out to money pages like affiliate reviews, products and categories, guess what? That's probably a link farm, and you don't want a link on your site there. Next up, you want to check the age of a website. Make sure it's at least 2 years old, because sometimes that website may disappear in the future. After all, you are paying, so you want that link to last forever. Now, if the site meets the exact criteria that I've laid out, you're going to want to negotiate the price. I like to give them a really low number and then negotiate. So at least this way, they think, oh, he doesn't have a lot to spend, so I'm going to make it as cheap as possible. Naughty. Now, one of the most common things I'm finding with my consultation clients is they're unsure of SEO. They've got information overload. They don't know how to filter the information. You see, they've been absorbing so much of this information, they don't know what works and what doesn't work. That's why I'd highly recommend a one-on-one consultation with yours truly. Or you can simply go for the SEO audit and strategy game plan. Now let's move on to the next way to find guest post links, and that's using Upwork. I've managed to get myself on sites that have over 600,000 monthly visitors and only paid $40 for that link.
Wow, it's very nice.
However, keep in mind that is the exception and not the rule. It's very easy to do. All you're going to do is sign up and publish your job post. Here's what mine looks like.
I'm looking for backlinks on tech websites only. Website requirements: must be receiving traffic at least 1,000 plus according to SEMrush. Please don't send sites that don't meet this requirement, or you'll just be sent into spam. No PBNs, real websites only. Tech websites must be realistically priced for a guest post. I don't care about DA, only traffic. Please send the links to the websites and not a spreadsheet link / attachment.
Now, when people send you their sites, you're going to want to vet the links according to the criteria I just went over. Then you're going to want to negotiate the price as low as possible. Here's a pro tip. When you get sent a list of sites, you're going to want to publish them into a doc, because they're afraid you'll cut them out and instead you'll go directly to that website, and this way you could get a cheaper price. The next way to get guest post links is by using marketplaces like Legit. Type your industry into the search bar plus guest post, and then you want to reach out to the vendor if they don't already provide a link to the site. Here's another pro tip. If that vendor has already got lots of reviews, then chances are it's a link farm. You don't want to be on there. Instead, look for gigs that have very little reviews. This way, they've probably got very few guest post links. You want to reach out to vendors that don't have a lot of customers. Now,
How about those free guest post links? How do you actually get those? This one's tough, but still doable if you're willing to put in the elbow grease. Use my X bio strategy. In X, search something in the search box, then click advanced search and type your industry plus blog. Click on people, and some of these profiles will link out to their blog. You want to make a list of these blogs somewhere and reach out asking for a guest post. Using X to find free guest posts is a great strategy because chances are that people who link to their website in their bio are really passionate about that topic, and they may not care about a fee for you trying to guest post on their site. However, your content must be really, really good. Now, here's how you power up your backlink for less than $10. You use that by using my Web 2.0 tiered link building strategy. Tiered link building is when your backlink is receiving a backlink. So your backlink is getting powered up and passing more power to your page, and as a result, you get a rankings boost. So for example, as you can see here, we've got a guest post, and this will be a tier 1 link, and this will point to your page. And then you've got your tier 2 type of link, and this will point to your guest post. And then you can even take it a step further by introducing a tier 3 type of link, which points to your tier 2. This is going to juice the hell out of your guest post right here, and as a result, your page will rank even higher. Now keep in mind, I wouldn't recommend going any deeper than a tier 3 link. Web 2.0 properties are sites like .wordpress, .weebly, Blogspot and Tumblr. And that's just to name a few. There are a load more out there. What you're going to do is buy some expired Tumblr profiles. I've built hundreds of Web 2.0 properties, and I've found that Tumblr is the easiest and by far one of the most effective Web 2.0s. What you're going to do is sign up these Tumblr profiles. I would recommend using a different browser like Firefox to avoid leaving a footprint. But don't worry, I've never been penalized by using this method. And all you're going to do is simply post an article to your Tumblr profile and leave a link to the page you want to rank. I would highly recommend building 4 of these Tumblr types of backlinks to one of your guest posts. I found this the most effective and efficient way to power up one of your backlinks.
So here I am on X, so go to the search bar, just type anything in. I'm just going to say Bob, type this in, okay, search filters as you can see here, just click on advanced search as you can see here. Guess what we're going to go for? You can go for whatever niche you're in. I'm just going to use anime as an example, so anime blog, and again you can change that to whichever space you're in. Hit search, and then we're going to go for people. And as you can see here, let's check this profile out. Okay, she's got a blog called angryAnimeBitches.com. That's an interesting site. But regardless, as you can see here, boom, she's got one. Should be a great candidate to reach out to. How about another example? myanimeblog.com, D&A anime blog. So very simple, very straightforward. Let's say you're in the tech space, technology blog, one of the world's most popular marketing, creative and technology blogs out there. Digital Buzz, boom, easy work. So what's the next thing? So you can use a tool to use this instead. This is just one that I found. It's called Tweeple Search. I believe you can use it free for a number of times every single day. So let's just do the exact same thing. Anime blog. Boom, we've got a bunch out here. And another thing you can do is export it to CSV. So if you're really trying to scale up this process, you can just use a tool like this. And you can even see their bio. So as you can see here, this guy's got one, Naruto.blogspot, Figure House. So you can just see their bio straight away. So this just gives you a bird's eye view. So you can check this tool out, Tweeple Search. So next thing you want to do is basically get the name and email, check their about page to find it, and essentially get their email. So here's an example. So on this one, I couldn't find their email specifically on the pages. I couldn't find the name of a person.
But what you can do is use their pen name. So here's Eva. And this will depend on a niche. So if you're in the entertainment space like anime, a lot of people aren't going to show their faces. They don't like that stuff. They like to keep anonymous. Some people will show their face. They're okay with putting their name out there. That's why I say check the blog. Check the about page, check the contact us page. And it doesn't look like they've got a contact us page out here. So what's another thing you can do when you can't find their name? Well, we did find a name, but you can't find the email. Well, first of all, you can use a tool called Hunter. It's a free Chrome extension. As you can see here, boom, we've got their email. Now, this isn't a person's email, so this isn't either at someone's website.com. It's info at. And if that's the only thing you can find, fine, just go by that. That's fine, but it's a last resort, so please keep that in mind. Ideally, you want the person's name, actual real name, and email. You want that type of structure, but last thing, if it comes to this, then that's fine. You'll just keep this, and then you'll move on to the next one. So you've got the name, you've got the email, so you check their about page, their social media, try and find it as well. And then you got their email using Hunter. That's what we did. Then you're going to send their email. I don't know why I've got 2 step 2s here, but regardless, send their email. Before you do that, you want to make sure you use their name. If not, like in this case, we haven't got one, that's fine. Use a good subject line, and I'll go over what a good subject line looks like. Mention something specific about their work, because you want to make it look like you're actually interested. You're not just another person contacting them. And use a genuine email address. So ours is technically verified using Hunter. However, you want a more personal email address, which we couldn't find. So here's some tips on writing a good subject line. Keep it short and to the point. That's the best way. So the one I like to use is quick question. And this is almost getting a bit cliche because a lot of people use this now. Quick question, Bob. So you want their name. So nice and short. So mention the name of their website or name. So we've mentioned Bob, or if you want to change up, quick question about anime bitches. Although if you write a curse word in there, that might send off a spam filter. So just keep that in mind. Sure. Avoid the overuse of capital letters. So don't capital letter everything. Thinking you're trying to get their attention like that. Again, it could set off a spam filter and they may never ever see it. Next, avoid things like link exchange or link request. They probably have seen a bunch of these types of emails before. Sorry, subject lines. And it's just going to get put in the bin folder basically. So very simple, very straightforward ways on writing a good subject line. Simple is best. Mention something specific about their work in their email. So what's something specific? So look at the topic of their recent blog. So in the example prior. So if you look at the latest post, this is at the top. So you could just mention something about their post. I don't know, I love the post about Jagu Shara and a specific question or thing you find in the article. You can also look at their recent tweets or retweets, and maybe you can mention something about that or how you agree with a particular comment they made. So again, look at the comments they've made on their blog posts. Look at their about page for personal interest. Maybe you read their about page and they've mentioned different things about themselves, like saying they love going skiing. Maybe you love going skiing as well. You can mention that. And look at their bio on their Twitter page. That's another way to learn a bit more about them and mention that in the email. So next up is an example. So here's the email subject line. I'd love to write for you, name. And then the actual copy, hi name. I love your site and the topics you cover are fun and interesting. I really like the post about, then mention a post of theirs. And mention the title, not the URL. You inspired me to create my own content. I have my own site called, and then mention your own site. Don't mention a URL yet. Just mention the actual name. The reason why I'm contacting you today is because I knew it would be beneficial to the both of us to do a guest post for you about then the topic they cover. So let's just say anime in this example. I would create content that your readers will enjoy and talk about. And then you can link to your website. I look forward to hearing from you. Kind regards, and then your name.
another thing you can do is if you've already done some guest posts, you can just write something like, check out my previous guest posts. And then leave some links to those guest posts. Very simple, very straightforward. This has worked for me, but I would revamp it. I'd try to shorten it. So what you can do is throw it into ChatGPT and get a shorter version. Boom, easy work. Just copy and paste this. Now, here's something very, very important. Don't be surprised if they ask for a fee. This is normal. You'll find plenty of people out there asking for a fee because guess what? We're marketers, we're SEO, and marketers ruin everything, right? SEO there used to be a time, and I think they still do, where they spam a bunch of sites saying how much for a link on your website. And website owners, they've caught on to this, and everyone on the mother knows that you're supposed to charge a fee for a link. However, they don't always charge a fee. So using this method, I found this is the best way to find free guest posts, because the people mentioning their site in their Twitter bio, they're typically very passionate about that topic, so they're willing to give you a free guest post if the content's solid. So just keep that in mind. Don't be surprised if they ask for a fee. This is normal. And if and when they do, pitch yourself as a startup. So you're just a startup, and the key here is to negotiate down. So they'll give you a number, basically go somewhere really, really low. And when they say yes, then you should have gone lower. But if they say no, then that's fine. Just go a little higher and then reach a sweet point you can agree on. Next up, and you're going to want to do this, prioritizing link targets. If you're willing to scale this up, do this part, prioritizing link targets, before you do the finding an email, because you might not find that it's a fit for your website. So how do you prioritize a link target? And I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. So you can prioritize link targets by traffic. So you can put the site into something like SEMrush or Ubersuggest, domain authority, blogger influence. So check out the social media, the following and the engagement, as well as the likelihood of getting a link from that site. So take a look at that site and basically ask yourself, have they allowed other guest posts and links to other sites? Look at the blog activity and how relevant the content is to yours. Because if you find that they haven't published in a long time, guess what? That site just might be dead already. So there's no point. It's just a waste of time. And if the content isn't relevant to yours, then guess what? The chances of you getting a link to your site are minimal. Now, here's what it looked like. So here's the website name. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit more. It's not technically a zoom in, but I will. The website name, so you can throw in the website's name, as well as then check the traffic, jot down a DA. You can check out their X following if you're finding that they like to publish their posts or pages in general into Twitter. Have they allowed guest posts previously? Then if you find that, hey, this checks out, guess what? That's when you can get their name and email, as well as you can throw in their X profile as well. So I'll tell you what this looks like. So here's an example. So I've just took down the site, took down the traffic using SEMrush, the domain authority using the Mozbar, which is a Chrome extension. Took down the X following. Have they allowed guest posts? Took a look. Yes, they have. What's the name of the owner? Eva. What's their email? I couldn't find their personal email, so I just stuck with the company one, or the website one, I should say, as well as the X profile. Maybe I want to go back to it later. Maybe they don't respond to it. So instead, I send a follow-up. So if they don't reply to that follow-up, I could just contact them on X and basically just jump in there and ask if I can guest post. So these criteria might be good for you. And normally I say don't guest post on a site if it's got less than 1,000 traffic. However, something like this, Twitter sites, one of the things I find that, again, these people are genuinely passionate about the subject. And if you read the content, you can tell as well. So I don't mind the traffic too much when it comes to something like this, because I know it's a real website. So just keep that in mind. And what you're going to do is basically exhaust this list. So I've typed in anime blog. So anime blog, go to people and basically check out everything, and you're going to exhaust all of this, put this into that spreadsheet, put all that information in there. After you've got all this done, then you can find the emails and stuff, the ones that you want to contact, and again, prioritize by domain authority and traffic. And let's say you're done with anime, maybe there's another one. So shows blog, because I guess anime is a show, and people blogging about shows, well, guess what, they may be into anime, so you've got that one, so you can exhaust another list here. So let's get even more broader. So this is entertainment. I think I just spelled entertainment wrong. Yes, I did. I can't spell. Entertainment blog. There we go. And you can exhaust this list. And one of the important things here is, as I mentioned previously in the doc, is do they create my type of content related to my website? So you won't be jotting down or recording irrelevant sites. And that was essentially it, really.
What is this underused backlink strategy? Well, what this is use flipper.com. If you don't know what flipper.com is, it's basically a marketplace when you go to sell your website. So let's just go on blog. So when you're on flipper.com, just click on blog and it'll take you to different blogs. And what you're going to do is filter. So you're going to filter by a maximum of $1,000, because if you didn't know already, you will be paying for backlinks. Backlinks is a pay-to-win game. So the aim of the game is you're trying to get the price as low as possible. The time left, this is another filter. You want to give it at least 10 days plus, because if you're messaging someone saying you want to guest post and there's only 24 or 48 hours left, it may be very difficult to get a guest post on their site. So you want to go for the blogs, and you can filter here on the left. So you can filter, so let's just go for a maximum price range of $1,000, and it'll filter by that. And then the age, you don't want it to be a young one, you want it to be at least 6 months old, or ideally a year. Now, time left, the minimum is 17 days. So those are the filters you want to apply. So let's check out these sites. So you've got something like American Grill Ideas. So let's just say you've got a food blog. You can go for this. So site age 6 years. So this might be a good one. So we've got Track My Parcel. If you're within that industry, I don't know what this is. And essentially what you're going to do is you can scroll down and see what you want. So if you've got a gym related website, a fitness related website, here's one, athletics and sports website. So let's check this one out. And you can see the traffic. So page views 137,000, and you can just check that out as well. You can also put into SEMrush to check out even further, and sometimes they'll even have a SEMrush report below here. You can also request GA access, Google Analytics access, but this is mainly for people who are looking to buy the site. So I wouldn't recommend doing that, because you might essentially annoy the seller, sorry. So if you click on this little icon here, we'll be taken to the site, and you can check out the site, you can check out the content, and essentially see if you want to be placed here. So if you've got a similar site, so I'm assuming they're all about gymnastics, and only something related to gymnastics you'll get on here. But what we can do is you can contact the seller, and you basically can ask, hey, I'd love to guest post on the site, and hey, they're looking to make money, so chances are your guest posts will get accepted, because again, they're clearly looking to make money. So all you're going to do is essentially drive the price down, and the way you do it is pitch yourself as a startup. It's terrible spelling there, but that's the key here. Pitch yourself as a startup. So you don't want to make it look like you've got lots of money to spend, a big budget. So you're going to pitch yourself as a startup. So when you email them, you're just going to say, hey, stumbled upon your site, I'm looking to guest post, I'm wondering how much you charge, and would love to get featured on your site. So something very straightforward, straight to the point. No one wants a long email, And again, what you've just done there is pitch yourself as a startup. And that's essentially it. It's very simple, very straightforward, very effective. Because again, you can go target specific websites. So if you've got a fitness related website, a tech related website, a website related to computer parts, etc., they're looking to make money because they're on here, because they're looking to sell their site. And you can get relevant sites. You can see the metrics on the site. So ideally 1,000 plus traffics, because that's the ideal ratio that I find best. Domain authority doesn't really matter that much. You want to make sure the website is at least a year old, because a lot of people on Flipper, one of the things I find is their site will be 2 months old, yet they're trying to sell the website, which is insane. So check out the website. You're going to need to log in to see these details, by the way, and essentially you're just going to look at everything yourself. So does this qualify as a real website? So 1,100 total keywords, and very simple, very straightforward.
There's a very high chance you're skipping over these EEAT strategies and techniques that will help you increase your Google rankings, as well as survive the Google updates. First, you want to use Google's Gemini AI to improve your About page. Just use this simple prompt. Based on the Google Search Quality Raters guidelines, how would I improve my About page? Don't include any generic SEO advice. Give me actionable steps. And you'll be provided some handy dandy actionable steps from Google's own AI.
So I'll be using this page as an example. So as you can see here, we've put in the prompt, and let's see what we get. So given this a read, this is actually quite generic, and this isn't what we want. We want something specific, and we already mentioned that in our prompt. However, it looks like it's not going to give us that, so we'll have to give it again. This is generic. Okay, so now we've got something a lot better. So as you can see, it's mentioned, tell the story behind your company, while the web page mentions that the company focuses on natural and organic ingredients and uses sustainable practices. You can elaborate more on the story behind the company, the inspiration and the people behind the company. This will help users connect with your brand at a deeper level. Showcase your team. So that's another good suggestion, because there was nothing about the team. Highlight your rewards and recognition. This is another great one, because it doesn't mention any rewards or recognition, as well as add customer testimonials. That's a fantastic one. Now this does say use strong visuals. You can use images and videos to tell your story. So we've already got a bunch of images on there, but it looks like there isn't any video. So that wasn't as good of a suggestion, but the rest of it was pretty solid.
Next, we're going to be doing something very similar, but with the contact page. Think about it, if you don't have a contact page, that's a huge red flag. What kind of organization does that? Especially if you sell products and your customer can't get in touch with you. Use this prompt. Based on the Google Search Quality Raters guidelines, how would I improve my contact page? Don't include any generic SEO advice, give me actionable steps only.
So for this example, I'll be using my own pathetic contact page. So let's see what we get. As you can see, I put in the prompt. Let's see. Okay, so we've got some suggestions here that are pretty helpful. So make sure your contact information is accurate and up to date, okay? Use a clear and concise form that is easy to fill out. The form should only ask for information that you need from users. Provide a clear confirmation message. After user submits the form, make sure the contact page is mobile friendly. But most of this is very generic. So again, this is generic. Now let's see what we get. Okay, now we've got some better suggestions. Add a phone number to your contact page. That's a great one. Consider adding a live chat option to your contact page. No, that's not a very particular good one unless you're a bigger site. So make it clear how long it typically takes for you to respond to inquiries. So that's a fantastic suggestion.
So the next one is one that I see people constantly miss, and that's to weave in your own experience. For example, let's say you're writing a blog post on how to troubleshoot your graphics card. In your blog post, you could write something like, after building computers for 10 years, I found these to be the most common reasons why your graphics card isn't working.
along with one really easy fix. You also want to include any past experiences to demonstrate your experience. Essentially what you're doing is telling Google that you're well experienced within this particular area. Now, last but not least, you want to diversify your traffic sources. At the end of the day, Google wants to rank brands inside the SERPs because that's what separates someone who just threw up a website to an actual organization. And one simple way of doing this is by diversifying your traffic sources and going for an omni-channel approach. But there's one big drawback, which is this can be extremely resource taxing. So I'd recommend picking one platform and sticking to that. So you want to ask yourself, which social media platform does your customer hang out in? If it's Instagram, then just go for that. However, please keep in mind that not all social media platforms are created equally. Facebook is known for killing their pages so they can give you more ad results. You want to go to a social media platform that actually still allows you to reach your ideal customer.
I'll be going over the secret formula I use for writing irresistible product copies, as well as including a couple of ChatGPT prompts in there. So first of all, features and benefits. What is the difference? So a feature is a technical specification, and the benefit is the reason why a customer will benefit from that technical specification. So very simple, let's just say you're selling a 4K monitor, and in your description you mention how it has a 4K resolution. Okay, but what's the benefit of that? Well, the benefit is you could write something along the lines of it's going to be more immersive for the viewer. Imagine coming home from a hard working day and you want to unplug and rest, and that 4K is going to help suck you into that immersion. So essentially it's just the benefit of that technical specification. Very obvious, but I wanted to cover it anyways. And what you're going to do is you're basically going to have a doc and you're going to put feature, benefit, and you're going to outline it. So in this case, let's just say it's a 4K monitor. Okay, 4K, that's the benefit. Sorry, that's the feature. Another feature would be let's say it's 60 inches. Let's say it's got an IPS panel, and essentially you're just going to write the benefits for these. So make sure the most important benefit is at the top. So after you've covered the features and benefits, so you're going to rearrange it. So make sure you include the most important stuff at the very top and the least important stuff in that logical format. So the AI formula you can use is I'm currently selling X product name, give me a list of features and benefits. For clarification, a feature is a technical specification and a benefit is how the customer will benefit from that feature. So let's just throw into ChatGPT using our example here. So I'm currently selling product name and I'm currently selling 4K televisions. And let's just see what ChatGPT spits out. So we spit out some stuff. So here we go. So it's mentioned that it's resolution as a feature as well as the benefit. So delivering stunningly sharp and detailed images to make everything from movies and video games look incredibly realistic. So another one, high dynamic range and color accuracy. A benefit is resulting in more vivid colors and deeper blacks. A wide color gamut is another feature. Smart TV functionality, and it's including the benefits as well. So high refresh rate, 120 Hz or higher. So if you're a gamer, you know this is important for your 4K television. It mentions HDMI ports, etc. So this is going to give you a nice list. So I'll say, first of all, use your brain and see what you can list out, and then go to ChatGPT and put this function in. So after the features and benefits, list the reasons why someone would want to purchase. So in this example here, reason, it's a gift. You may be gifting someone, I don't know, maybe an action figure. So reason, they want to be more healthy. Maybe you're selling organic products. I don't know, something like organic oats or organic oranges, something along those lines. Another reason, nostalgia. Maybe you're selling a particular video game memorabilia. So a reason you can give is nostalgia. So we're getting a better understanding of the customer when listing all of this out. And it's something we could also include in the copy. So you'd give all your reasons why your customer may buy, and you could highlight those reasons inside the copy. So next up, objections and concerns the customer will have. So all you're going to do is literally just make a list of objections they may have. So for example, with a 4K TV, it might result in color bleeding, because sometimes it bleeds. It may, it may break easily. I'm going straight from the top of my head. And you're essentially just going to give
any objections they may have, maybe expenses and objections. Expense, and the AI prompt is I'm currently selling, then you put your item in there on my e-commerce store, give me a list of objections and concerns my potential customer may have. So let's throw this into ChatGPT. So we've managed to get ourselves a nice list of objections and concerns. So first of all, the cost, that's a concern, and it gives you a response that you could put. Another objection, but I just don't think it's that relevant, which is content availability. There isn't much 4K content available yet. I would disagree with that. So some stuff you don't want to put in. So compatibility, will my devices, game consoles for example, work with the 4K TV? For future proofing, will my TV become obsolete? That's an important one because technology is moving so fast. So size and space, installation setup, picture quality, energy consumption, that's probably one you may not have thought of if you're selling 4K televisions. User interfaces, this is something that a lot of people have a problem with. So for example, when I got my LG TV, I didn't realize there was like a knob underneath it that you move around instead of the buttons on the side. So that's something you can highlight. Audio quality, brand reliability, warranty and returns. So that's a good list of objections that they may have. And of course, like the benefits, list the copy in order of importance. So next up, do actual research when looking for objections and the reason why customers buy. So this is a big one, and this is what's going to help separate you from everybody else out there, because what a lot of people do, they just type in their product into Google and just see what everyone else is doing, and they'll basically regurgitate that. But with this, you're actually doing original research. So like going to Facebook groups, go to forums, actually look at reviews, what problems does the product have. So you can go somewhere like Amazon, you can go somewhere like Amazon and see the negative reviews, and is there something that you're finding in common? So one of the things I found in common for this Dragon Ball replica is the stars were on the outside and it would scratch off. So instead you can mention how your stars are on the inside, if they actually are, if you sell this product. So I wouldn't have thought of that if I didn't look at the reviews. So next up, appeal to emotions. So we don't just buy with cold hard logic, we also buy with our emotions. So the example I gave with the 4K TV, so some people, they may be exhausted from the hard day of work, or maybe they're looking after a kid and they just and their kid's gone to sleep and they just want to unplug by watching some TV. You can mention that. That's nothing to do with logic, that's emotion, because if you think about it, they can just go to sleep straight away instead of watching TV, but no, they want to watch TV to unplug. And you can also add humor if it makes sense, and I'll show you an example later on. Next up, include a blemish. Add some reviews that aren't favorable. The key is to respond positively and empathetically, trying to rectify the problem. So if everything on your product page, all the reviews are just pitch perfect, everything's just 10 out of 10, well, guess what? That might set off a red flag in the head, because that's just not the way the world works. There are problems, everyone knows there are problems with products. So if there are blemishes, don't be afraid of including some negative reviews in there. Just make sure you're responding to them, trying to rectify the problem. That's the big thing, that's the main thing. So next up, include FOMO, fear of missing out. In your copy, you could brag or just hint at how much your customers love the product. So maybe you don't want to add a timing feature where this deal will be gone in a X amount of days. So instead, you can include something that's constantly going to be there. So as mentioned, you could brag about how much people love it and how much you're trying to keep it in stock. So they may think, oh, I need to buy now, because if it's going, guess what? I may as well just get it now. And here's an example. People buy this a lot out of nostalgia for the show. So here's what I put. It's life size, and I highlighted this. So one of the objections people had is it wasn't life size, so when they received it, it was just a small ball instead of the actual life size replica. So I've gone ahead and emphasized this. Stars on the inside, so people were bragging how the star was printed on the outside of the ball and how it would scratch. So I mentioned that the last thing you want is the star scratching off. The luminous effect,
so it reflects the light nicely. In fact, they give off a beautiful luminous effect. It's silky smooth surfaces, surface glows like a mythical wish granting artifact. So that's referring to nostalgia here, because if you know the show, you know, right? Beautiful display item. This is more for logic instead of emotion. So premium feel, a thoughtful gift. So that's one of the reasons why people will buy this product. So I mentioned to throw that in there. A full set of 7, and I put claim your Dragon Balls before they're scattered across the earth forever. So that's a bit of humor. So if you know the show, you'll know why that makes sense. So these Dragon Balls are constantly being purchased by fans and are constantly sold out. So that's fear of missing out, and that's basically a pretty solid example of a product description that would sell well. And I've used this product description before, and it helped the product sell a lot more. And that's how you write irresistible product copy. Very simple, very straightforward, very cost effective. You don't need to be highly skilled. Just it's a systemized process that you can use